All right, back at it again. YouTube's giving me all sorts of trouble. Okay, that sounds like a lot lower latency. Flailing my way through Dominion 6. Make my face a little bigger. Boink. Okay, I restarted the stream. I stopped streaming at 4K. Now I'm at 1080p, which is a lot better. Got a reasonable latency. It doesn't take me like 40 seconds to respond to a chat message. Doing it live. Okay, now I need to figure out how to get the game audio in here. Where are you, game audio? Stream. I stopped streaming at 4K. Sweet. Sweet. Yeah, I see it. See it on there as well. Cool. See it on there as well. Cool. Well, happy Saturday, everyone. I've been wanting to do more streams just to kind of get out of my code hole. And honestly, what I really should be doing is making did that fix the echo? Um Sweet. What I really should be doing is making Legend Keeper YouTube videos. But I've got a big change coming to the creation flow, which is gonna like invalidate any Legend Keeper YouTube videos I do. And so I really don't want to do them twice. But I also have like things on the to-do list before I do the creation flow also. So anyways, I'm just streaming random stuff. And I figured I would try streaming on YouTube because the channel has like over 1,000 subscribers, which is crazy. And I'm not putting any content on it, and I should. So I figured Dominion 6 was as good of content as any. So this is a fantasy strategy game that, one, I don't know how to play. I've played it for a grand total of like 20 minutes, and I watched like a YouTube video, an hour-long beginner's guide on double speed. So it's gonna be rough, but I've always wanted to try this game because it looks wild, and I have like a soft spot for games with terrible graphics that are like immaculately detailed. Like one of my big favorite games growing up was Dwarf Fortress. And what else? I mean, it probably comes as no surprise to you that guy who makes world building app to catalog lore likes game with lots of lore. So, whatever. So you're gonna watch me struggle through this game, and it should be a good time. We're gonna learn a lot. Yes, Dwarf Fortress is so good. I need to play the new. So of course I bought the new Steam version, and I need to play more of it because they really did a good job with kind of modernizing the graphics. It looks awesome, so I'm excited. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get started and see what happens. And y'all feel free to ask me whatever. Don't ask me about the game because I'm not gonna know the answer, but you can ask me about Legend Keeper stuff if you want. The update they did to the original is better. ASCII art with mouse controls is so good. Oh, I didn't know they. I guess it makes sense that they updated the original too. I'll need to check that out. Because yeah, I was very accustomed to the ASCII art version, though. For a long time, I used the Lazy Noob pack, which like gives you kind of like basic tiles. I kind of liked it. It was kind of a nice compromise. I'll lower the audio capture here a little bit. Okay, so this is a game where you play as a pretender god. Someone trying to ascend the throne and take over the world. And that's pretty much all I know. It's like a 4X kind of grand strategy game, but it focuses more on combat and military might as opposed to resource management like in Civ 4, or Civ 4 tells you the last time I played Civilization. Like in Civilization, or I don't know, what else? Other fantasy 4X games. I've always liked 4X games, but I've always been really, really bad at them. So let's create world. Don't know what any of this means, but it sounds good. The game name will be Legendia. The early ages are full of magic and civilization is at its beginning. At most places, iron has not been thought of yet, and armors and weapons are made of wood, stone, and bronze. Okay, so in the tutorial video that I speed ran, I think it was like Lucid Tactics or someone on YouTube, they recommended doing the Kingdom of Ulm, which is like a military, like medieval, like less magical nation that has stronger troops, and so it's like good for beginners because a lot of the complexity in this game comes from the magic users. So we're gonna do that, and I assume that a kind of steel iron powered military would probably benefit from being in the Middle Ages because they say iron is now available to most nations. That sounds good to me. And then this is the screen where I was like, oh man, this game needs some UX work for sure. I actually kind of like, I like its consistency, but yeah, so for a while I was stuck on this screen because I was like, what do I do? But then I discovered you can click this, which is great. And then you select from all of the nations. This is wild. And all of these nations have like a little bit of like description and backstory, as well as like what they're good at, the units they have. It's wild. I'm not going to go too deep in this stuff because I don't know what any of it is. One thing I think that would be cool on this screen is like a good UX. Trial of the Wild says, good UX designers are unaffordable to most game studios, unfortunately. Yeah, it's also just hard to find good designers, period. Like, Legend Keeper hit the jackpot with Justin, but it's just hard. Like, designing good UIs is really hard. There's a lot of foot guns and pitfalls. But yeah, look at all, and so apparently all of these like factions play differently too, which is really impressive. I'm just always impressed by indie games like this. I actually found, so the manual for Dominion 6 I forget the name of the studio. Oh, it's Illwinter Games. The foreword to the manual has like several pages on what inspired them to make the game and what kind of the process that went into it and the games that inspired them to make it. Definitely check it out. Definitely recommend checking it out. Okay, so we're gonna look at Ulm. Ulm is a young kingdom risen from the Ulmic tribes conquered by the fallen empire of Ermor. From the ashes of Ermor emerged a new kingdom true to its ancient legacy, the Enigma of Steel, where Marignon relied on religion to build a kingdom. Ulm relied on steel. The mines of Ulm are famous for their riches, and the smiths of Ulm work the iron into the black steel armor used by the knights and infantry of Ulm. The people of Ulm are heavily built by human standards. Their infantry use full chain or plate armor made of black steel. The feared Black Knights of Ulm are the most heavily armored troops known to man. The leaders of Ulm have never approved of magic, and only the master smiths are allowed to use it. So yeah, this is like it's a less magical society, and their blacksmiths are the only people allowed to use it, which is kind of interesting. The smiths are used to working conditions that are magically unfavorable, and are therefore not adversely affected by provinces that have a strong drain dominion. I don't really know what this means, but apparently, like, each faction kind of has this like sphere of influence that expands around the map, and I think if you have drain dominion, that will like weaken magical forces that are within the boundaries of that. I don't know what that means, but we'll find out. The smiths craft armor and weaponry for lords and kings, but the strength of steel is preferred over magic. Even religion is of secondary importance in Ulm, through an iron cult that worships steel in a more devout fashion has emerged in recent times. This sounds like it's doing a lot of asymmetry in the style that like Age of Mythology had. Totally. And I like, there's something about asymmetric strategy games that's super interesting. I imagine they're a nightmare to design, for sure. But asymmetry is so interesting. So these are stocky humans, and they have a production bonus in all castles. Their specialty is heavy infantry, crossbows, knights, and superior armor. The magic they use is earth, fire, and sometimes air and astral, with superior magic item forging. In my test gameplay, I never got to like make an item, so I don't really know how that works. I may be referring to a wiki every now and then. Smith's research not affected by drain scale. Okay, so every turn you do research, like pretty standard for a 4X game. You have a certain amount of research you do each turn. And I guess Drain, Dominion, reduces your ability to research, which I guess would be a pretty cool counter to like a research-heavy faction. Astro Blue, did you ever see Natural Selection 2? Very cool asymmetrical FPS where one player on each team is the commander and plays a strategy game. Yes, Natural Selection 2 was really cool. I played it for a little bit. The community was terrible. It was so bad. It was very hard to play that game for longer than like 10 or 20 minutes as a new person without someone just annihilating you over chat, which is really disappointing because like the game itself was a really cool idea. Have you played Root? Most asymmetric game I've ever played. One player could have 30 warriors and 7 workshops, and another player could basically be D&D player with a sword. Hey, Maximus. Welcome to the stream. No, I haven't. I see Root a lot in like game stores that I go to, but I've never really learned anything about it. But that sounds cool. Lately, I've been playing, ironically, Dominion with no S, or introducing my friends to Dominion. It's like a deck building strategy game. Dominion is super fun. Another game. I guess I don't have to harp on this too much. I'm so bad at games. I have no idea why. I just like the part of games where you like think a couple turns ahead. I just like can't do it. I'm like, I see like what's in front of me, and I'm like, okay, do that. I'm like, oh wait, no, that's a terrible idea in the second turn, but oh well. Root also has an AI expansion that automates some faction for PvE and stuff. The Root board game? That's cool. Yeah, I'd be interested. You got me interested in the game because the asymmetry you're describing, That sounds very asymmetric, like society versus guy. Sounds sweet. Yeah, the so Illwinter Games has another game they make that's called Conquest of Elysium, which I've played a little more. It's like a roguelike. It's similar to Dominions, but it's like a roguelike 4X game, and same kind of design in that like the factions are crazy asymmetrical. So you can have like there's one faction. Obviously, there's like the swarmer factions that just make tiny little trash units and just like try to overrun the map. And I think they even like destroy the tiles that they live on. But honestly, I didn't play it too much. And then there's like the clockwork mages or something like that where they have to spend a lot of money and resources to summon like one unit, but it's like a giant beefy clockwork golem that can take on armies. So that's always cool. Okay, let's take a look at some of these units. So our commanders, which are kind of like the special units that move on their own. Got spies. We got 4 different commanders of Ulm. I don't know what the difference between these is. The Vagabond, D&D PC alike, literally goes around doing quests and merc work, giving cards to other players to get items they crafted. Meanwhile, the cats and birds are playing Risk. Interesting. That's really cool. I would like to play that. So what is the difference between these guys? Is it just items? So full helmet, full plate, tower shield, and half helmet, full chain, tower shield. Half helmet, full chain, tower shield, but with a morning star, a flail, appropriate for flailing through this game. Oh wait, no, it's a morning star here, but in his little icon, it's a flail. We got cavalry, the Black Lord. The Black Knights are the knightly members of the Black Order, and the most formidable military units of mankind. Their full plate armor is made of black steel, as is the barding of their horses. Only the strongest warriors are allowed to become members of the Black Order. That's pretty dope. This guy looks cool. Let's see. 150 gold, I assume that means to build. Size 3. Okay, so one thing I like about this game is the tooltips kind of tell you a little bit about, like, they like contextualize the values a bit, which like when you're being introduced to a new like mechanic system is really handy. I thought it said scales and buses, but it actually says blesses. I was imagining a fantasy cart pulled by a griffin. Yeah, blesses are, so I think, so you have, they're like regular units and sacred units. And I think if they are like blessed by like the holy, like blessed by your god or its prophet, they get this like bonus. I think, I don't know. So this is our Lord of Cavalry. We have the Black Acolyte. They consider magic outside religion to be sacrilegious. The acolytes of the order are not allowed to learn magic or smithing. Interesting. I wonder what these guys are for. Like, they're sacred, so you can bless them, right? They can be blessed and only require half the usual cost to maintain. Master Mason, Master Smith. Master Masons are highly skilled architects and masters of siege warfare. They lead. Okay, so this is like who you would want to run your sieges. What does this guy do? Lord Guardian. Mundane weapons with might. Oh, look, this guy's 33. I'm almost 33. Black Priest. Yeah, I don't quite, like, it's showing me a lot of stuff here. I don't really know what I'm looking for. So I do think, like, one cool thing would be Yeah, this is a lot of stats to show to new players. I think one cool thing, like I'm trying to think of some other strategy games that do this, but when you're selecting your faction, there's like you get the stats, right? And it's kind of smaller and you can like maybe hit like show more to get into the really crunchy stuff. And then they just have an overview of like how this faction is played, like what their game plan is. And I think that's so helpful. Like from what I understand, the game plan of these guys is just build a big army and steamroll everyone. Um, Whereas like there's if you look at like the Eldritch faction, well, yeah, the Fallen Star, they have completely different vibe, um, and they like live underwater. Uh, at least color code the numbers to get a vibe of relativism against the rest of the game. Yeah. Oh yeah. So what I was gonna say is like when you do click on someone's stats, they at least give you some context. They're like, oh, by the way, a bug is 1, a small dog is 2, human is 3, and a giant is 6, right? Which is somewhat helpful. This game looks so freaking cool. Yeah, honestly, it is. It's like, it's not the prettiest game, but like, I don't know. I really appreciate like complex like simulation and stuff like this. Just that like someone's making it, like just making something that they want to play. And Dominions has like been around a long time. I think it's been around like 20 years or more. Protection indicates the thickness of any armor worn by the unit. It's subtracted from the attacker's strength and weapon damage when calculating the total effective damage on the target. Anyway, I'm not going to play as these guys because I have no idea what they're all about. Yeah, and then every unit also has these little like perks or like attributes that like also like change up stuff, like Spirit Sight. They can see into the spirit realm. Units with Spirit Sight get no penalties from darkness. It can see invisible units. I love games that kind of just unapologetically show you this much stuff. Oh yeah, Dwarf Fortress I think is very much in that same regard. There's a lot of value to being accessible to new players, but at the same time, like sometimes you just gotta make what you want to make. Oh look, this guy's 370 years old. Age penalties affect attack, defense, precision, encumbrance, hit points, max speed. I assume. Okay, yeah, I was figuring it's a percentage of the max age rather than any like absolute value. Dwarf Fortress is actually playable now that it has a GUI that isn't entirely ASCII. You know, another game that's a little on the UGO side that recently got a great user interface update was Caves of Cud, which is like the greatest roguelike of all time, like bar none. It's so good. It's outrageously good. And it plays really well on the Steam Deck too. But it's like it's hard to describe. The vibe of it is like, it's like Dune and like Adventure Time, but like kind of like not the silliness of it. Well, it's a little silly, but kind of like the like corroded world vibe that Adventure Time has. You're just like a wanderer in the wastes of this crazy land, and I think you're trying to like reach a tower or something. I've never gotten that far. But there's all sorts of things you can do. You can collect resources and level up your character and go dungeon diving and spelunking to find magic items. And it's another game that's like really mechanically rich, where every system they've made interacts with every other system. Like one thing I won't forget is they have a talk on YouTube that's like how their procedural history generation works. And what they do, which is really clever, is the root of their procedural generation is these 4 sultans, these 4 important characters in all of history, rather than starting with like, I don't know, like a world or an event. It's like these 4 people, and it's like, okay, these 4 people are gonna go out and do things, and I think they're like sequential. Like once one sultan dies, they like generate the next one as they're like generating the history, and these sultans go out and interact with the world, and the things they interact with are what like names get based on, or like magic items get based on. Where if the sultan goes and he meets with a colony of bears and like gives them a gift, the maybe the bears are in in a war with the mutants or whatever the factions are in the game. And the Sultan gives them like a sword to fight the mutants. It becomes like this magic ancient item that the bears use to fight the mutants. And then your character, hundreds of years later, can go out into the world and actually find that item or find the place where that war took place. And like, I don't know, loot ancient artifacts and stuff. It's really cool. It's very hard. I usually die really quick. But if you start as like a gunslinger that can fly, that's kind of like easy mode, where you can kind of fly away from most things and attack from range. I do love the prehistory in Dwarf Fortress. It gives good context about the local situation. Of course, another amazing game with cool procedural generation. Like, honestly, Legend Keeper started out as like a procedural generation project, and it kind of morphed into a note-taking thing, because I really do someday want to make like a more simulationist story builder sort of thing. But those things are like black holes. Like, you could work on them forever and never be done. So it makes it kind of a risky project. You kind of get stuck working on it forever. Well, cool. Well, there are a lot of factions here. Kingdom of the Sun. Ooh, they're like bird people. Procton is... Yeah, how is your city mapper going? It looks really cool from what you've shared in the Discord. With the demise of the last Eagle King, steps were taken to preserve the wisdom of the kings of old. The necromantic practices of the Raptor clan were not banned in Nazca, and the divine kings were mummified and preserved, should their advice be needed in the future. Interesting. I'm getting kind of like Egypt vibes from this. This is cool. Like Egyptian mythology vibes. Palace of the Sun Kings. Okay, this is like buildings they have. Neat. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. And what I also learned in that tutorial is to make everyone baby. Everyone's going to be baby while I learn how to play this game. And then they're going to be defensive. Baby's first Dominion mode. And this is like a collaborative multiplayer sort of option where like there's like one pretender or like wannabe god. And then the other players are like disciples. It kind of like, from what I understand, this makes the multiplayer game a little more like canonical. Like, because like pretender gods wouldn't really ally with each other. At least like until the end where they like backstab each other, because there can only one true god to ascend the throne. So I think this makes it a little more like lore friendly to like collaborate. It's going well. I recently switched to Pixie for the renderer. Now I'm making everything conform to the actor model that XState uses in its new V5. Very close to a bunch of screenshotable progress. I really like Pixie. I rewrote, or I added to the document indexer in Legend Keeper to actually catalog mentions directly and save them to like a database table. And what I found was, I was like, oh, you know what? This would be a lot easier to model all of this as like a graph with like nodes and edges and stuff. And then I like made a bunch of indexes in IndexedDB that like lets you do like pretty straightforward like graph lookups. And I was like, okay, I'm like just straight up building a knowledge graph here. So what I did was I got Pixie, and you can load the whole graph into memory and then hand it to Pixie and render a bunch of circles and lines using like, I found a tutorial for doing that. So I made a little like Obsidian style graph renderer for the connections. So that should come out at some point. Justin wants to take a look at it first because the one I made is ugly. But yeah, I know a lot of people have been asking for like a graph visualizer or like a network visualizer. Yeah, Foundry. Yeah, that's right. Foundry does use it. Yeah, it's awesome. It's very performant, and it's like its mental model is like fairly straightforward. Like I don't have a ton of graphics experience, and so like graphics frameworks are always kind of overwhelming. And I found Pixie to be pretty like approachable, just especially because there's so many examples and just stuff online. GraphViz is the big thing I see people complimenting Obsidian on. Yeah. Okay, to be honest, my like knowledge management hot take is I don't think those knowledge graphs are actually that useful. Maybe they are to some people, but I don't know. It just it seems a lot like people want to make a really big graph and then post it on Twitter and be like, "Look how smart I am," which there's nothing wrong with that. But I personally don't see a ton of value. But I do think it's cool, right? Like looking at a graph and being like, "Whoa!" Like all these things are connected, and I am interested in ways that like a graph like that could be used as a creative assistant narratively. Like for a while I was looking for research papers that studied like social networks, and I was wondering if there are ways to like find like I don't know, like underdogs in a social network, like someone who's very well connected but maybe doesn't have a lot of information. It's like, okay, that could be useful in like a world building app, right? Where it's like, oh, this guy or girl or this creature or whatever is connected to all these people, but they only have like 50 words written about them. Like, do you want to flesh that out more? And things like that. So I do think Legend Keeper's graph view, when I do get around to like productionizing it, I would hope has a bunch of cool features. Gorse shows a live replay of a changes graph of a Git repo, almost totally useless in a single dev project, but I find it incredibly motivating. That's cool. Like, is it like animated? Like, do you see like things exploding onto the screen and like physics and stuff flying everywhere? Because that'd be cool. That's sick. I like that. And yeah, that is really neat. The file vault, Obsidian's file vault is like, I really like their commitment to Markdown. Although it's like, it's so popular now that it like, I have a lot of people coming to me that are like, why isn't everything in Legend Keeper in Markdown? And I'm like, it's cool, but Legend Keeper is not just like a text platform. So like, Legend Keeper is not serializable to Markdown in a way that's like preserving of intent. And so it kind of like, if I were to force everything into Markdown, I would like lose a bunch of stuff. Like, or not that I would lose stuff. I would have to write my own kind of Markdown representations of a bunch of things, which by definition are non-standard and like couldn't be used in other places. You know what I mean? And I just don't want to be limited by what Markdown can express. Yeah, I think it's a great like, it's great for what Obsidian uses it for, which is to store text with some semantic structure, right? But when you get into like boards, like I'm not sure how Obsidian it stores their whiteboards, but I can't imagine it's like that portable. I use Obsidian for I assume that means Star Wars RPG stuff, because I end up with so many screenshots of ship stats and stuff that Obsidian is a great place to paste those. Yeah, totally. Obsidian is just like Obsidian is a great product, and they're like, especially with the plugin ecosystem, you can do anything. You can tweak and tinker and like really customize it, and of course it performs great because it's all offline, which is awesome. Okay, easy AI, defensive, no disciple game. We saw this already. Okay, here's the part where it's like the game gets really dense and I like have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just gonna do what I saw the guy on YouTube do, which is he selected the giant snake. This is where we pick our god, like this mythical creature, the lord of the dominion that's trying to ascend to godhood. And so apparently these are like the stationary gods. These are like the powerful, like kind of like on the field gods, like giants and ass-kicking giant humanoids. The creatures are, I think, good at like expanding, and then the humans and like humanoids and like tiny boys here are good at like magic, I think. But we're gonna choose the snake, and then we're just going to invest in earth magic. And then different levels of the magic tiers give you access to different spells and bless effects, which the guy in the tutorial, I think it was Lucid Tactics. I need all those god options plotted on the Magic the Gathering color wheel. Yeah, for real. Yeah, so I was doing a little research, and a lot of like fantasy 4X games like this are kind of all descended from a game called Master of Magic, which was heavily, I think, heavily inspired by Magic the Gathering, because like the magic types in that game are like straight up, I think, the Magic the Gathering magic types. Masters of Magic is actually available on Steam, and I tried it yesterday. It's like $5. And it's like, honestly, for a DOS game, it does hold up graphically, but it's the interactions that drive me crazy. Because like, I don't think there's right click at all, and there's like no, I couldn't figure out the keyboard shortcuts. So it's just like, oh my god, I'm never gonna sit down and learn how to like control this game, even though I was interested in it because of all the games that have kind of like descended from it. Master of Magic, I think it came out in like 1998 or something, or 92. We're going to take Reinvigoration. Blessed units recover from fatigue at a much higher rate. Mountain Survival. 4 map movement points cheaper to travel through mountains and highland provinces, and reduces how much they need to supply. And then Blessed units receive increased strength. That's impressive. Best looking DOS game I ever saw was Microprose's Grand... What does it say? Grand Prix, and that was way above everything else. Oh, I want to see. Grand Prix Microprose. Here, let me... Okay, this might break everything. I'm going to switch to my browser. So sorry if this is borking. Let's see. Microprose. Grand Prix. Let me resize this. Window capture. $1991. Wow. That's cool. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, Master of Magic. It looked pretty good. This is they remade it, so ignore this newer looking one. Yeah, it's like this. Like it has like tactical, like turn-based combat when you're like fighting, and then where's like a map screen, and then on the map, you like run around. Yeah, you like manage your town. You have like taxes, resource production, and all that kind of stuff. You have your map where you can see creatures and how much you gain each turn. Yeah, pretty. I don't think it was the first. It definitely wasn't the first 4X. I think it was inspired by Civilization. We used to be a land sim racing house with my dad, brother, uncle. That sounds really fun. I'd be down for that. I never got super into racing games. My brother really loves them, and he has like a whole like, stick shift and like wheel setup. LAN parties. The last LAN party I did was, I think, Sins of a Solar Empire. And we got like 10 people together to play Sins of a Solar Empire in my college apartment. That was really fun. Okay, we're going to take Reinvigoration. And then we want... Okay, these are like... Choose how your Pretender God's dominion will affect the lands and how strongly it spreads. Okay, so this is like what their influence does. So I think we want productivity, because this is like an industrious nation. And then, so you can get more like design points for your god by like delaying their awakening. And so you're like without them for a few turns. But I don't really fully understand like the trade-offs for that, so I'm not going to do it. Okay, so then growth. A land of growth is a land of milk and honey. Plants grow everywhere in riotous profusion. A land of death, on the other hand, is a desolate place. Pale, gray trees stand in naked rows where forests previously covered the landscape. Many a calf is stillborn, and diseases harry the populace. No sane man will stay in a land of death for long. 4X games really are cool. I really like the conjunction between like 4X games and like story engines. Like when you can play a 4X game and kind of also like imagine like the stories that are going on. Like I would love like an Expanse 4X game, like The Expanse, like the series on Amazon. Just because there's so much 4X games kind of abstract away all this drama, and it would be cool to kind of see some of that. Discovering that in Civ 1 you could build a road across I don't know that word, trireme, to make a bridge is basically my obsessed with game design village origin story. So I think, yeah, so to do death, I would right click and go negative here. I want an Expanse shipping manager. I know that feeling. Like a space logistics game. I think Paradox is making one. It's called Star Miner. I don't know like how deep on the logistics they're going, but that would be dope. Yeah. So when I do Land of Death, I get more design points because I imagine living in a land of death sucks. I'm gonna do growth. That like spends like a lot of my points. I just want to sell ice. Yeah. That was always like my like RP fantasy when I was playing EVE Online. It's like doing market stuff and being like a space trader. It was fun. That game was also hard. I do a lot of Elite Dangerous trucking. Yeah, that I think I just did it for one evening, but I had my like VR set up, and at the time I had a joystick, and so I set up Elite Dangerous with like a Netflix like picture in picture on like my dashboard in my ship, and I would just run like shipping missions and watch. I forget what I was watching. I would just like watch Netflix and while I was flying through space. It was cool. Okay. Okay, so what do I get for putting levels here? Like, if I'm not getting a bless effect from it, do I care? Because it's a lot of points that could like go elsewhere. Wiki, I'm space trucking and Star Citizen right now. I think we're all in good company here. That's awesome. Okay. I watched most of Critical Role Campaign 1 while playing 8. That's not a bad idea. I've tried to get into Critical Role so many times, and there's just so much content. So doing it while space trucking probably makes it easier to get through. Okay, I'm at design point 0. This, I don't know if I'm doing a good job here, but, you know, whatever. We're just gonna go ahead. Enter the name of your god. Python. No, thank you. What should I call the god? Let's do some chat interaction. I mean, I could battle episodes are a great background for coding. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Because I would imagine those probably take a while too. Oh, I'm gonna name this god Legend Keeper. Just full corporate shill. All praise Legend Keeper. Hell yeah. Okay, so then there's a bunch of shit here that I don't know what it's for. But I think in the that needs some work. This should be a clickable zone. Just a little UX tip for everyone. This whole thing should be a button. I think the tutorial recommended 8 level 2 thrones. What does it mean? I don't know, but I'm gonna do it. And then 8 ascension points to win. So you claim the thrones of ascension to win the game. Okay, let's do this. It's like one of those loading screens where you're like, what is it really doing? It's reticulating splines. I think so. Is that Domains? Or what game is that from? That was a chunky loading screen. In the beginning there was chaos. Out of chaos rose worlds populated with multitudes of beings. Wars were fought, kings and emperors rose and fell, and civilizations were built and crumbled as millennia passed. Like in Crusader Kings, where you start an account and then get a duchy, then a kingdom. No, it's literally like a throne on the board, and if you take the region that the throne is on, I think you just get the throne, and then you have to, of course, like continue to defend it. And then you have to hold, I think you have to hold 4 of them to win this game. Still there was chaos. The gods fought amongst themselves, bringing even greater ruin to those who would serve them. At last there was one, a being of great power and enlightenment, who rose above his immortal peers and cast them out of heavens into oblivion. From chaos came order, and with order came peace, and the creatures of the world flourished. The age of chaos had ended. Well, that sounds nice. Ooh, nope, maybe not. Maybe we spoke too soon. Now the wheel has turned once again. The supreme god has suddenly disappeared. Prayers are left unanswered, and the smoke of offerings rises in vain to the heavens. No one knows why he disappeared, but it is certain that the people of the worlds are once again left without direction, without guiding principle, and without order. Now is the time for the beings of great power and ambition to try their strength. The throne of the heavens stands empty, and only the strongest can rise to supremacy over all. Only the most powerful can ascend to take the place of he who came before. This is a time of great strife and suffering. This is a time of magic unequaled. This is the Ascension Wars. Cool. A little backstory. I'm down with it. Look at this. Actually, I unironically like the way this game looks. Like it's authentic. I dig it. 1 second. I need to post the link to this somewhere. Okay, so this is the main gameplay screen. We got a bunch of stuff over here. All I know about is defense, which tells you defense. So you have your units on each tile, and you give them orders each turn. So before I do anything, I'm going to queue up some research, because the guy in the YouTube video said that summon earth power was good. So we're going to go for that. I was not expecting the main gameplay screen to look like the mock-up screenshot a student made in Microsoft Word. Yeah. It's pretty hardcore. I don't know, I like it. Okay, so honestly, like, playing this game has made me really want to make it's 4,000 times the scale of the land textures. Oh, yeah. I really want to make, I want to try to make like a game in this genre, like in the browser. Just because browser, you know, TypeScript and stuff, and like all the browser APIs is what I'm familiar with. So it'd be like the fastest to get something up and running. But I think it would be so fun to like make a game like this, but like give it like a really like opinionated theme. Like instead of like the dark fantasy that this is, like make it like Adventure Time or I don't know, something else. Anime stuff. Like I just think it would be really interesting. Um, you'll see the battle screen. The battles are really fantastic looking. You'll see soon. Okay. So yeah, so we're going to queue up research. That's not the research button. To get summon earth power, I think. Then I want to make magic items, right? And so I think, yes, you need construction to do that. Look at all these spells, man. So these are just the earth spells I have filtering on. Clockwork soldiers. Yes, I think the construction magic is mainly around, you know, making units to help you. At level 5, you can cast Mechanical Militia. Mechanical men will help the local militia defend their provinces. Machine men. Dangerous mechano man. Cool, very cool. But yeah, so we want to make magic items. So we're gonna do construction as well. That seems cool. Atari over browser, but yeah, TS is hard to move away from. I was disappointed when I tried to use F# for game dev stuff and found that the functional .NET language has nowhere near the power of TS. Oh, interesting. I've never tried F#, but honestly, TypeScript has come such a long way. Like, it's got a lot of great features. And it's just, like, very pleasant to use, and transpiling is, like, kind of a pain, right? Like, getting just, like, pure JavaScript you can use. Like, it sucks that you have to do that part, but overall, I like it. We're going to have our god research. I'm going to smash our giant snake god into the library. Get to work. There's quirks to types in TS, but F# doesn't even do the higher kind of types. Yeah, I only recently got into using the type system a little more. I started working on like an ORM for YJS, the sync library. And I was like, okay, what if I use the type system to like create a type safe ORM for YJS? And I've been getting pretty far with that, actually. That might be like an open source project I release. Vitae means transpiling is basically invisible, so I'm over that problem. Vitae rocks. I'm so glad I switched the Legend Keeper Legacy client to Vitae. If anything, just for the build times. Like, build times are 2.5 minutes now, 3 minutes. It's amazing. They were 45 minutes before. Oh my god, that was like Webpack 3, I think. It's terrible. Okay. Let's take over the world. So we want to do... Oh, right. We need to... So you can, like, promote one unit to your prophet, who's, like, becomes an ultra-powerful messenger for your god. Maybe not ultra-powerful, but in general more powerful. They can, like, bless soldiers and stuff. So we're going to have this guy ascend and become the prophet of our faction. YJS ORM sounds super interesting because I was struggling to do YJS with type safety. Yeah, because it is a struggle. There's like no real way to do it type safely. If I ever go back to my VGT project, would love to have an easy way to work with YJS. I love YJS, but there is starting to be stuff that I think is going to be better. Like, it's still early, it's still an alpha, but like check out Electric SQL. If you're looking for something that gives you like local first collaborative, Electric SQL is looking really neat. They developed a protocol to synchronize Postgres with a SQLite running in Wasm in the browser, which is dope as hell. And someday I would like to, honestly, like, Legend Keeper's document editing will probably always use YJS, but right now I'm essentially using YJS as a replication protocol to take stuff from IndexedDB in your browser and put it on our server so we can serve it as a public page. And like I could eliminate that whole step. Yeah. It's a little limited right now, I think, because I think you have to like synchronize a whole table, which is like not going to work for Legend Keeper. I'm not synchronizing an entire table to someone's browser. That sounds ridiculous. So while you can like add it to an existing project, like your whole design really has to revolve around it. And I don't really understand like I don't know how whole table sync is even like acceptable as like an option, but maybe I'm like misunderstanding. But yeah, I cannot sync the entire 50 million row YJS update table to someone's browser. Uncool. But they're going to add this thing where you can like basically define a slice and say, give me this slice of Postgres that I'm authorized to see that matches this filter and put it on my device in SQLite running in Wasm in the browser, or you know whatever you're using, wherever your SQLite instance is running. So that'd be super sick. And so I'm eager to see that project continue. Okay, so our big snakeman is researching. Oh, we need the spy. So this is our spy. This is our scout. He can move around without attacking people or being attacked normally. Yeah, this unit will get additional info when hiding in enemy lands. The extra information gained is number of inhabitants, all types of income, unrest, province defense, supplies, discovered magic sites, and basic info about neighboring provinces. Spies can also instill uprisings and infiltrate enemy capitals. So I definitely see there's a farm over here, and we definitely want to conquer that. So I'm going to get the spy to start marching over there. And then I think that's all we're... Oh, and then we want to do recruitment. And we want to recruit... a Master Smith, which is like this faction's mage equivalent. And then we want to grab some pikemen. Which again, I'm literally doing what I saw in the tutorial. I really have no idea what I'm doing. But spearmen, front line, makes sense, right? So let's do that. Let's just recruit as many as we can. So yeah, we'll do one smith, a bunch of pikemen, or pikeneer. Interesting. Never heard that word before. And so we'll have those next turn. So we'll get a little research done, but then when the smith comes, we'll assign them to research. Let's do it. Okay, so Legend Keeper, King of the Stony Ground, has sensed the location of 7 previously undiscovered thrones. And then each of the factions, or a bunch of the factions, are declaring their prophets. Which is what we're doing too. Sisibert, the commander of Ulm, shall hereby be known as the prophet of Legend Keeper, King of the Stony Ground. Sounds cool. Okay, so we have our prophet, and we have some folks. So let's stack up a bit. So this game is like an auto battler, and so you don't take direct control of combat. You give like their set of beginning orders, and then the AI sort of takes over from there, which personally I like. Usually I would, like, when I'm playing a game, I either want to focus on like tactics or strategy for the game, but not like both, because I find it overwhelming. So let's put our pikemen. This UI is wild. This UI needs a lot of work, but luckily, I think I know what I'm doing here. So these are the pikemen. I'm gonna give them a line formation. I'm gonna move them right up to the front, so they can go and start stabbing at folks. We're not gonna fight And then, okay, we have these like infantry, like axemen. They could be a line formation. Put them right behind the pikemen. That sounds good. And then who are these guys? Oh, wait, no, I didn't mean to do that. And then this guy, go over here. And then the commander will put right behind his dudes for the morale. They love it. You love to see it. And then what this guy will do, you can queue up 5 actions before he then starts doing his main thing. So we're going to cast spells, which is, since he's a prophet, he's got all these cool spells. We don't have any sacred warriors, so blessing's not going to do anything. Banishment. The priest smites undead beings with the power of his god. The undead will take damage unless they manage to resist the banishment. We're not fighting undead, so we don't need that. Sermon of Courage. Soldier morale is increased with the help of this prayer. Prayer can also reduce the negative morale effects from spells and monsters that cause fear. One of the cool things about our pretender god is he's a giant snake, which scares the shit out of everyone that fights him. So a lot of enemy units will rout when they, after just like a couple hits from him. Because you're being attacked by like a giant, like 40-foot snake. I would also run away. Holy Word. The Holy Road, the next true god, the priest is able to stun a sacred warrior of a false pretender. We won't be fighting any of those soon. Any harm done to the priest will result in divine bolt striking in the midst of the enemy. We don't plan on getting hit. Divine blessing, same as the blessing prayer, but it affects all holy units on the battlefield. Smite, the priest utters a prayer most holy, and a heathen is struck by divine bolt. This is like a buff. So we're going to use that. And we're just going to keep using it. Why not? And then, like, just for fun, we'll smite someone. That sounds good. That guy will be very unlucky. And then we can just attack. And these guys, their orders, just leave them. These, hopefully, the fights that we get into aren't going to be too crazy at this point. Cool. Okay, so we got those, and then let's just attack an easy target. So this province contains 30 enemy units, militias, archers, and heavy infantries. Heavy infantry sounds kind of scary, but there's not very many of them. That's one thing, it's like I don't have the experience in this game to know, like, how to, like, assess targets, you know what I mean? What's going to be, like, difficult, what's going to be hard. Wolf tribe. And there's a shaman, so this army is commanded by someone who can use magic, so I'm going to watch out for that. Barbarians. And then heavy infantry and cavalry. So we don't want to attack them quite yet. Should I recruit more before I go crazy? I don't know. Hey Braven, what kind of game is this? This is Dominion 6. It is like a fantasy military strategy game. So you play as like various fantasy factions and you just try to take over the world. I've never managed to get into Total War because I can't grok the unit comparisons. Total War is overwhelming. I bought Total War Warhammer 3 recently, and the game is like beautiful. It's really cool, like watching the battles and like seeing dragons fuck shit up. But like, there's definitely a lot of units, and like understanding the units is a huge pain. This game I think has the same problem. It's like I don't know what all these units are. I assume kind of the standard like rock, paper, scissors apply, which is like, you know, spear beats cavalry, cavalry beats, you know, archers and unattended foot soldiers. And archers beat everyone who's not within 20 feet. That sort of thing. Me struggling against hoplites because I keep frontally charging them. Yep. Yeah, so the Warhammer 3, I'm only like a couple hours in. I'm playing the tutorial in Warhammer 3 Total War. The tutorial's really good. It's like, I don't remember the Total War games having as good a tutorial as it has. The only reason I won in Rome 2 was because I brought all my legions to bear. Yeah, just doom stacking. Take a giant army and just steamroll them. It took a total conversion Star Wars mod to get me into Stellaris at all, and I still haven't really committed to a vanilla Stellaris game. Yeah, I really like the idea of Stellaris, but it's one of those games. The thing that happens to me in 4X games, it's like there's so many options, and I don't know like how I should be spending my resources each turn. And with Stellaris, it was always like I don't know what to do. And I mean, I'm sure I'll eventually hit that problem with this game too. 4X games are just so like, I would say they're like generally inaccessible. And so Total War Warhammer 3, even though, you know, it's the battles are like an RTS, like a big squad combat RTS, the map screen is, I don't know, a little more straightforward. The games that focus on military, I think, are maybe easier to get into because, you know, at the end of the day, it's just you just want to get up resources to fight some fools, versus the games that have like diplomacy and all those other options. It's really cool, and I like the idea of it, but it's kind of overwhelming as a new player. The idea of Stellaris is incredible. The ability to zoom out attention to keep up with Stellaris is a seriously learned skill. Definitely. Definitely agree. Okay, so I'm going to take out these guys. Because we're cool, right? There's only 30 of them. I'm actually going to send my Snake Lord. And hopefully he doesn't die, because that would be, you know, disappointing. And then I'm going to recruit more dudes. I need more dudage. And then I'm going to send my army out. City Skylines weirdly has the same issue. At a certain point, cities are too big for me to care about placing small bus routes in neighborhoods. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, once you get to a certain level of scale, you'd kind of expect the gameplay to adapt to that. Like it would be cool. So, like, a lot of these 4X games have, like, automation to handle systems for you, which I think as a new player, the mere fact that automation can be turned on for something is overwhelming. It's like, should I turn on the AI automation? I don't know. Like, versus if you took like a 4X game that started small, like Spore or something, where Spore's not a 4X game, but you started as a little, just a little guy, and then you keep zooming out and zooming out and zooming out. That would be at least cool for like a tutorial for a 4X game, and maybe even the gameplay itself too, where it's like you fight a few battles yourself, and then you get promoted, and now you're doing more strategy, and then you get promoted again, and now you're doing the logistics, that sort of thing. Okay, we're gonna recruit some more dudes. Hey, yeah, Spore really tried to solve the zoom out problem, but unfortunately the game was still with Spore. You know, I never tried playing it, but it was like such a famous game when I was a teenager. But when it came out and like the response to it was mediocre, I was like, I'll pass on trying it. And I was also one of those people that was like a little disappointed that they went for the cartoony approach after their like initial trailer was a little more grounded. But I mean, I don't blame them, because I imagine that grounded approach is probably harder to pull off. Okay, and then where's my spy? We want to send the spy here. I think that's everyone. Wait, 2 commanders are doing nothing. Yeah, we'll keep him doing nothing. And then the snake is moving. Ratchus, you should be studying, bud. Inspirational in ways that game publishers execs would hate to see in new hires. Yeah. Okay. So we got a battle. So okay, so now you can see stupid okay question. No such thing. No such thing as a stupid okay question. And I don't see how the new banner thing seems to work. P.S. Great work from you. So first of all, you should make sure that you have version 0.15.2, which you can guarantee by holding down Shift and refreshing your browser. Once you do this, you can also just click the update pop-up. Force updating will make the update pop up anyway, but it won't do anything once you update. It's just kind of a quirk of the update system. So make sure you're on 0.15.2.0. And then what you'll do is in an article. Here, I can actually show you. Wait, no, I can't. I don't have that set up. You click the 3 dots in the top right and hit show banner. And then from there, it should be pretty obvious what to do. It'll show like an empty state that's like, set a banner. Or turn it off. There was a battle in the Oak Hill halls. Okay, so now you guys get to see the battles, which like are awesome. Check this out. So we zoom in, dramatic zoom in, and bam, look at that. 3D battlefield with 2D billboarding sprites. I unironically love it. Oh, that's a lot of dudes. I hope my god's gonna be okay. We'll see. I can always start over if I die. Ooh, look at that. Get him. Take him out. I'm nervous. The guy does have a lot of health. Get in there, man. Take him out. Let's fast forward. So this god is like really scary, and so once you start fighting groups, they get spooked. Get them. And so yeah, once 2 groups, the archers are like, okay, I'm getting out of here. And we won. Look at that. Oh, I'm attacking a tree. Good job. Didn't lose too much health. I was expecting the battle screen from the Imperialism games. I'm not familiar with those. Did not expect 2D sprites. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Okay, so we won that battle, and everything's always like in retrospect. So that battle happened, and we were just watching a replay of it. You can also click this to get just like a battle report. So I got 6 kills, and these guys got how is this? Kill 6 units. You would expect. Oh, Archer killed 3 units. Oh, it's friendly fire. Wow. Okay. I was like, wait, these numbers don't add up. Do you think snakes are scary to people because they move in ways that mammals struggle to predict? I don't know. I wonder, how much of it is like millions of years of like epigenetic fear of, poison predators that are stealthy. I really like snakes, actually. I think they're cute. Imperator would have been great with 2D sprites in a normally 3D game world. What is Imperator? Imperator game. Ooh. Is this a game that, like, is there an old version of Imperator? And then they remade it? Or I think I found one that looks like older. Yeah, I can see 2D sprites being cool in this. Crusader Kings, but Antiquity. Okay, interesting. I've never really gotten into Crusader Kings. I heard the 3rd one was like a good place to like enter for people who had never tried it. When it came out, their marketing was actually pretty good, because when it came out, people were like sharing their crazy stories on Twitter and stuff, all of their king drama. Okay, so we won that, which is great, and we took the Oak Halls, which gives us 91 income and 41 resources, I assume, per turn. And then, so what you can do here is a nice thing is you don't have to leave your units on tiles to defend them. You recruit defense units using money. So I'm going to do that. And so now this is like the standing army that's going to live on this tile. And it's interesting too. It's like the locals, like you like an abstraction of like you actually like conquer this territory and like there are people living in it and stuff. Colonial snake bastard. Wolf tribe archers and wolf tribe warriors. I don't know if the snake men can take them. I have no grasp of like the scale. Okay, but let's go back here. Throw these guys in this squad. And then I think 25 and 12, so we got 37 dudes. I'll put this guy to more research. How fast is our research going? We're doing 22 a month. $60 units, 50, 50. I mean, I assume, like, if I attack these guys together, it'll probably be cool. Also, there's a throne here. In my last game, I attacked a throne, and that fight was a lot harder, and my prophet got killed. So maybe we'll wait till I fully understand what I'm getting into there. Okay, so let's take this group, and we're going to attack these guys. We're going to take our snake god and attack as well. And then we want to set some orders here. You know, it'd be cool to have some archers. Let's recruit. Or some cavalry. Wait, do I have any archers at all? I don't think I do. Interesting. I wonder... Oh, wait, no. Sorry, they're down here. Crossbowmen. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to do cavalry. That's not very many. Maybe we'll wait till next turn when we have more money. We'll do some crossbowmen. Why not? Invade Mnasse and rename it something pronounceable. I don't know if you can rename places. That would be cool. Let's mess these guys up. This is our stuff. We're gonna take it. And then the snake can do a little bit of ranged. Interesting. What spells do we have? The caster enchants his hands. The snake enchants his hands, transforming them into pistons, able to strike down even the largest of foes. The assault lasts only 1 round, and a targeted unit must be in reach. The magician attacks multiple times with increased skill. The damage of the spell increases with the strength of the caster. Earth Grip. The mage orders the earth to swallow a single target. If the target is affected, he will be unable to move unless he succeeds in breaking free. So it seems like kind of like Warhammer 3. It seems like what would happen here is like your units clash, and that's just like pretty normal. And then your heroes have these scripts, and you're trying to like screw over the other hero, right? Because you wouldn't probably want to waste something like this on like just like a guy. You probably want to target the other hero somehow. I assume maybe you can do that. Snake, but with 5e Astral Arms Monk. Or just the end of his tail becomes a piston that he uses to punch. Okay, so we're going to do Flying Shards. I like that. And he would probably do that anyway, but now we're going to guarantee it. Which, this might actually hit my own dudes, though. That's the problem. I wonder how long it'll take... I wonder how long it'll take my guys to, like, reach... We're just going to find out. We'll see. 4 seems like a lot, though. Maybe we'll do 3 or 2. We'll be conservative. We'll do 2 in case my guys stroll up. That would be bad. And then we'll just attack. And then archers. Why not? And this looks good. I'm into it. They won't know what hit him. Okay, so I've got my recruiting. Is everyone doing something? Let's give the spy something to do. You hit N to go to your next, like, idle commander. Ooh, there's another farm. And another throne. Ooh, an unexpected event. Did you ever play Kessin or Dynasty Warriors? The commanders sound like they have a similar vibe in terms of power comparison to the average troops. I did play Dynasty Warriors a little bit, and yeah, I do get the same vibe of, like, a commander is like 100 times stronger than a regular guy. And so you definitely use them to kind of put your thumb on the scales. What is an unexpected event? A magic item has been found and transported to the arcane library. The Heartfinder sword has been gained. Whoa, what does that mean? I'm eager to see what that is. And then there was a battle. Let's see how it went. Okay, my commander's blessing. Doing the sermon of courage. Uh-oh. Don't. Okay. I think he's just going to fire at archers, hopefully. Because if he fires his stone shards here, that would be bad. But we're kicking butt here, so we're going to be fine. Fast forward. I think in the Dominion games before this, they didn't have routing, which, like, routing's cool. Like, cause like an army's not gonna like stand around and fight to the death. They're gonna, when they're losing, they're gonna fucking book it, right? Like, okay, cool. We lost 2 infantrymen, and they lost a lot more. A decisive victory. So now we add 40 to our gold and 14 to our resource. Sweet. Yeah, let's check out the Heartfinder sword. I wanna know all about that. Magic item treasury. It's empty. Maybe it's here. Nope. Where would that sword be? Magic item overview. Okay, here we go. Oh, do I have to construct it? But I thought I found it. The magic of the sword is released as soon as the blade hits the flesh of an enemy. The sword will unerringly seek its way to the blood-filled heart and destroy it. This results in instant death, but an enemy with high magic resistance may be able to avoid the evil of the sword. You're in luck, Silent. The Heartfinder sword is pretty much a normal sword that can locate the heart. But, like, this is pretty dope. Like, how do I give my commander? I assume I would give the commander that sword. There's like a mercenary system. That's cool. Okay, I gotta run to the restroom. I'll be right back. Burb. 4K splash screen on a 1080 screen. That's right. Yeah, I didn't realize how beefy all my assets were. Okay, so where were we? So my master smiths are researching. How's our research going? Pretty slow. Should we add another smith? Let's add another. And then let's go back to Ulm to get our item and our crossbowman. How do I move here? Oh, I have to select him first. Okay. And then let's send the snake to take out these guys. Hopefully that goes well. Then we're going to recruit more units. Oh, interesting. I can recruit units here. I can recruit like the local units. That's cool. Okay. We have a lot more money now. Start getting cavalry. Cavalry and a magic man. And then were these guys? I don't know. I want to do some more crossbow guys too. That's fine for now. And let's get rid of this guy. We'll do cavalry next turn. I said that last turn, but you know, whatever. Just feel like I need some more ranged power. I have 5 holy points. I don't know what that means. Okay, so we got recruitment, got my spy. Ooh, look at that. 90 enemy units, commanded by Manth, the commander. So that might be a little harder to take. The Lake of God. The map seems like pretty small. I'll probably be running into other AI players soon. Okay, let's move this guy. We'll scope this place out here. We make our way over here. And then, do I need to care about defense? Like, should I be... Why not? I mean, I've got the gold, right? There's so many thrones near me. Guess that's good. Maybe the spy should go here. Just scope that out. Since it's a throne. Elling, welcome. Hope your D&D session went well. I might have one in a couple hours here. Trying to gauge the availability of my group. It reminds me I should figure that out. Looks like I am having a D&D session tonight. It's good. I'll be inspired by all of this conquering. Okay, anything else I need to do? I think everyone is busy. I did my recruitment. I wonder, like, is heavy infantry worth recruiting at all? Like, I think the thing about my, like, faction is their soldiers are just all dope as hell. Especially, like, these guys, the black plate soldiers. They're just, like, a lot stronger. Like, they have 11, 10, and 6 versus 11, 10, and 5. What am I looking for here? Maybe they have better weapons? It would be nice to have a unit comparison screen. And maybe there is one and I just don't know where it is, but it's kind of hard to do this async like this. Full chain. Okay, so the black plate guys, their armor seems to be a lot better. Protection 19 and -3 versus 23. Yeah, so they get more. What is defense? I assume that's this. Defense skill indicates a unit's ability to avoid getting hit in melee combat. Attacks will generally miss a target unless the attacker's attack skill is greater than the target's defense skill. Defense doesn't protect a unit from missile weapons or spells. A normal soldier without a shield or heavy armor has a defense of 10, while a heavily armored soldier will have a defense value of 5. Oh, your ability to avoid attacks. If you're heavily armored, you won't be able to avoid them as easily. An experienced mounted soldier that's very mobile will have a value of 15. Okay, that makes sense. So they're slower, but they have 4 higher protection, which is the thickness of the armor that's subtracted from the attacker's strength and weapon damage. Okay, that makes sense. We're getting there. We're learning. I haven't had a session since before Christmas. My daughter moved here, and then we were all sick, and now I'm suffering severe withdrawal from hitting stuff with Magic 6. Yes, we had a long break as well. Well, I'm sure. I imagine a lot of people did with the holidays. But it's been good. It started off like the first, I don't know, 20 sessions was of Princes of the Apocalypse. It was Lost Mines of Fendelver for like a year or two. Then like 4 years of Princes of the Apocalypse. And now we've kind of gone off into like my homebrew land, my riffing on Princes of the Apocalypse. Just because the end of Princes of the Apocalypse, POTA, is just all dungeons. It's just oops all dungeons, which we're not like a super dungeon crawly group. We're kind of like a more balanced approach. So I've added some more narrative spice to the end of Princes of the Apocalypse. Okay, recruitment. Got our smith. I think this is everything. Let's go. Let's do this. How'd our battle go? Someone promoted a prophet. Let's scope this battle. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, no. I did this on purpose. Get him. I would have expected him to cast his spell there. Oh, did my guy die? Those guys were strong. Oh, no. Oh, no. My serpent died. I'm ruined. Okay, so note to self. Barbarians are strong. So I think since he died in my dominion, he will eventually respawn. But it's going to be a painful few turns without him. Okay. So we lost there. That's too bad. Okay, so let us... I'm going to need a lot more dudes to account for losing my Snake Lord. So let's see. Just going to need this guy to get on research. And then we will... Got a lot of folks to put in here. Oh, how do I add them? Okay, cool. Heavy arbalists instead of crossbows. I wonder, does that have an impact on like their arc? Like, I don't know. Well, let's grab these guys. Let's put them like back here. And you aren't going to fight, so we're just going to put you guys back here. If you guys are ever accidentally deployed, you'll be all the way in the back. Oh, I can't believe I lost my snakeman. I'm so sad. Okay, so we got 3 squads. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to put the rest of these in here. Probably should recruit some more infantry at some point, right? I gotta go take revenge on these barbarians. Gotta avenge my god. So we have a lot more money. We should start doing cavalry. They're so expensive. But let's do it. Why not? Another smith? Another smith? No, I don't have enough commander points. Okay, so now how do I need to equip this guy with an item? How do I do that? Heroes of Might and Magic and Civ. Yeah, I think so. I didn't play Heroes of Might and Magic much, but it's got a bit of Civ to it too. Minus like you aren't really building buildings. You can really only like find them, I think, or I think you can build buildings, but they just affect like unit recruitment or something. But there's like seemingly a lot less resources. Like I'm not worrying about like how much grain I'm producing and stuff. It's more like money and resources. Like they've abstracted a lot of stuff. Yeah, like what does this laboratory do? Or a temple. Okay, items. There we go. Nice. Okay, so I give it to this guy. Now my commander, Siebert, has the Heartfinder sword. Hand. So he will be a force to be reckoned with. And then, okay, we got our recruitment. I gotta go get revenge. I gotta show these barbarians who's boss. And then, wow, there are a lot of dudes here. Long deads. Are those zombies? And wyverns. Cave drakes. This is crazy. What's going on over there? Let's see. I'm gonna get my spy. Can move down here. Why not? Oh, he can't because there's a mountain range right there. Okay. I think that's everyone. Okay, there we go. He's got 3 squads ready to party. Let's do this. Barbarians, you will rue the day. Okay, I finished my research. We had an unexpected event. A witch was caught. While suffering her sentence by death by lapidation, she uttered a dark curse over the land. Misfortune +3, magic +2. I assume misfortune like maybe like makes your rolls worse. Let's see how the battle went. Oh, I forgot to give the archers orders, but oh, they seem to be doing okay. Uh-oh, I'm nervous. Here we go. There's so many barbarians. They're starting to run away. We got this. You can do it, team. Yeah, get these guys behind you. This needs a box really bad. It's hard to read that text. Okay, we won. But at what cost? Let's see how that went. So a lot of casualties. Barbarians are strong. We lost 10 dudes. It's not good. We have taken land. Oh, who is this guy? Astral Mage. Neat. Okay, so we finished our research, which is good. That gives us access to more spells, which we cast by going here. Oh, sorry, I was just checking out items. Barbarians are strong. Rolling D12s at me. I don't think this is a D&D system, but that's all I think about when I think about barbarians is D12s. Summon ogres. That sounds kind of cool. Maybe I should summon ogres or astral project. The caster's mind is separated from his body as he travels to the astral planes in search of military information. His mind and body are connected with a silvery cord, which can be detected by unfriendly astral mages. Once detected, the cord of the mage can be severed, a traumatic experience indeed. Each casting of the ritual allows the mage to scry on one province. The use of the extra astral pearls increases the duration of the result. That's kind of cool. That seems like a long-distance spying spell. Distill gold? Turn minerals into gold? Don't really need gold. Let's summon some ogres. Why not? It's going to slow down our research, but I'm doing it for the lulz. Okay, so we have our cavalryman. Make a squad. Shit. I have to click the profile picture. Yeah. And then maybe we'll have them join up with the army. Maybe. Heavy infantry, light infantry, and crossbowmen. Getting spicy. This is about as far as I got in my last game, so I officially have no idea what to do from here. Ooh, what does a sapper do? Dig tunnels under enemy walls. Okay, so they're for sieges, it sounds like. I think I need to replenish some of my infantry guys, right? Maybe we get some, yeah, black plate infantry, since we can afford it. And then, like, some more cavalry. And another smith. Just keep the the research must flow. And then I wonder. No, I don't. I'll keep the Dark Lord as like my other commander since I lost the snake. So we'll leave him there to get these next units. Ooh, hold on. Someone's at my door. All right, I'm back. Get lots of solicitors selling solar panels lately, all over the place. But I can't install solar. I'm trying to conquer the. I don't know what this place is called. Conquer the everything. Okay. Got my recruitment going. Got my research going. Why am I studying conjuration? It was earth power, right? Yes. So this is a ritual spell. I guess this is one that's cast in battle. So once we get level 3, maybe we can start sending in some mages to the battle to use earth power and then summon some elementals to fight with us. I just went to take my food out of the oven and found I needed to put it in the oven. As in, it needs more time, or you didn't put it in the oven in the first place. Oh, look at this spell. Contact Iron Angel. The caster contacts an Iron Angel to teach the weak to be strong. The angel is a divine being professing the might of skill and craftsmanship. It teaches men not to trust in sorcery or religion, only faith in yourself, and the weapon you wield will grant you true strength. The Iron Angel is not sacred, and will readily hunt down and slay fanatical adherents of other faiths. The Iron Angel sounds pretty hardcore. He sounds like an unpleasant guy. I found it laying atop of a very hot oven. Ah, I hate that. I hate when that happens. I've done that a couple times. Honestly, that's why I use my air fryer so much more, because it like preheats a lot faster than the oven, and so I'm much less likely to get distracted and like go somewhere else. Because my oven takes like 30 minutes to preheat. Like, who has the time? Okay, we're going to put some defense here. And we want to expand more. How is this army doing? We still got a lot. A good squad of units. I mean, I feel like I should take this. I assume we can win. All right, let's continue. Ooh, wait, hold on. Spy. Let's go scope out this farm. I think farms have generally more income, which is why I want to scoop them up. Whoa, there's a lot of rounds. Ice Stuff has cast Summon Ogre. Nice. Dude, I miss my snake so much. Uh-oh. Yeah, get him. Chase him away. We did it. Several casualties. Not as much as them. Okay, so we had a farm. Get a nice 76 income from that. That seems like a lot. Put some defense on this in case our AI friends show up. The Throne of Bureaucracy. What is that? Interesting. Negative 200 gold per turn for bureaucracy. Conflict bonus. PD subscription? Conscription. Province defense and friendly dominion will automatically recruit up to this level, plus order scale at a rate of 1 per month. 200 gold does sound like a lot. I guess some of the thrones give you a penalty. Maybe that's to prevent like snowballing. Because yeah, like what is... I guess I won't know what this throne is until I go there. Blightlands, Bone Tribe Hunters. Okay, and the rest of these armies are looking a little big. I don't know. My ragtag team of dudes. I should probably get some recruits in. Okay, Eistolf, go back to researching. Henrik, also research, please. Can we talk about the background behind the map? I have no idea what brief produced that image. It looks like someone just downloaded a fractal maker. I subscribe to Electric Sheep. It's like a continuously generated like fractal screensaver that like is constantly downloading. There's a totally different one bordering the edges. Maybe I don't know what you're talking about. Like this? Okay, so now let's load up Adelode squad with some ogres. Okay, large, strong, stupid humanoids. They're not as strong as trolls, but can be a real threat to travelers in remote villages. And they eat human flesh. Cold resistant, and they have mountain survival. The purpley energy effect. Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't know. Looks like maybe like some perlin noise with a purple hue filter on top. And then, yeah, more fractal stuff overlaid. Okay. Welcome to Ogre Squad. What's wrong with Parchment? They want it to be ethereal and magical. Okay, so 18, 10, 9, 8, 13. Okay, obviously much faster. But then these guys. See, as the ogres are definitely stronger. Definitely some heavy hitters. We'll put those guys right in the front. Some shock troops. Ethereal and magical probably was the brief. I'm thinking something ethereal and magical. But you can only control 3 squads. So let's put the cavalry here. Whoops. And then let's do another squad. The cavalry, we're going to have them like back here maybe. All right, now let's put them up here. And then what they're going to do is harass archers. That is what they will do. And the ogres are just going to do their thing, as are the infantry. Oh, we want a little more in this army. And I don't really know what like a cavalry commander does. We'll learn as we go along. Look, it's like fishmen out there. The blue line means that it can only be traversed by aquatic. So checking in again, but is this a new game? I don't quite understand what I'm looking at. Yeah, so this is a brand new game. It came out like a few days ago. It's Dominion 6. And It's like just like a strategy game by like an indie company that doesn't care about graphics very much. I find myself amused by the gaps in effort, like the placement of larger units is just a rectangle with text while the gods get a full avatar. Yeah, it's always interesting to see kind of the where people change their level of effort for sure. 'Cause yeah, why not like show the units? Okay, research, research, research. Let's do some recruitment. Let's just get a bunch of these guys. Let's keep getting a bunch of these guys. No, Justin would have a lot of strong words about this game. I mean, I do too, but I tolerate it more, I guess. Gameplay greater than graphics. I would say usually I agree with that for the most part. Earlier in the chat, we were talking about games like Caves of Cud and Dwarf Fortress. Y'all want to know the craziest 4X game is Aurora 4X. You should look it up. It is, no joke, the spreadsheetiest game of all spreadsheet games. I did not catch before that it was brand new. I was assuming circa 2010. Well, I think so. Dominions 1, I think, was made in 1998, and it looks exactly like this. I don't think they have changed the graphics at all. Dominion 6, they added a bunch of nations and routing. These games are crazy deep. The systems in them are very complicated, but it's kind of hard to learn and appreciate all of it just because it's so buried under UI and stuff like that. But yeah, they've been around a long time. And I've always wanted to try playing it, and I just started playing yesterday. These guys are growing rapidly when the dev team is only back at. Yep. I can accuse a lot of it as just decisions that carry through the series. Yeah, I think they're just they found their niche and they just are here's what our games look like. They're gonna be fantasy war games with billboarding sprites. Yeah, why not? There's lots of unrest here. What does unrest mean? Unrest will reduce tax income from the province, and a value of 100 or more makes it impossible to recruit troops here. So I think if you station more troops, you can reduce unrest. Yeah. So let's just put a bunch of dudes there. Patrol strength will make the province defense try to find and attack enemy scouts. Makes me feel a lot better. Is that, I assume that's your city maker? I forget what that stands for. And then dungeon draft set the bar pretty low. I've never tried to use dungeon draft. Is the UI hard to use? I feel like I'm losing control here. My people need a place to live. That's right. That's a cool name. Losing my snake god was a real blow to my momentum. Now I feel like I'm trying to regain my strength, and all around me the walls are closing in. Yeah, I feel like this army just isn't strong enough yet. I need another round of recruitment. How do I exit this screen? And then I don't know when I should be casting spells with my dudes. What does empowerment mean? I don't know what to do. Oh, you can spend gems to level up. Okay. So I was curious how you actually level up your magic skills. Okay. Search for magic sites. That seems... Okay, let's do that. Research-wise... Getting there. Okay, then my spy. Still can't make any magic items because I don't have the right construction. So we're going to keep doing research. Blood hunt. Capture young girls with special blood for blood magic. Oh man, that's dark. I don't think we're a faction that relies on that. Yeah, because I think some of the factions require like sacrifices and stuff. Like the spooky cultier ones, like the eldritch ones. Oh, let's just put this guy in research. For large cities, just downloaded vector data of real-life Indian cities' road networks. Easy, lazy option for multi-million city. Oh, interesting. I mean, that's not a bad idea. Lots of, if anything, you know, just draw from the real world. I feel like I need to take this place. Let me find my spy. Scope out this forest. It's commanders that are doing nothing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I want to attack anyone. We'll just head this way. Oh, there was a battle. Oh, interesting. A guy that was injured died during a march. I didn't know that could happen. We might as well join up with the rest of the peeps. Yeah, I don't understand how like independent factions grow. Like, it's just a second ago this was 50 people and now it's 90. And then this is 60, but it was like 120 for a second. I don't really understand the logic. I assume it represents people moving around. Like maybe they went over here. Let's see. And so I think let's garrison these guys up. And then rejoin my army here, and maybe we'll take this place. There's a throne there. We will summon some more ogres. Why not? 7 crystals. And recruitment. We're just repeating it. This is the halfway in. Province income plus 10. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, like where are these battles happening? Are the independents fighting each other? Henrik the Mastersmith has searched oak halls for magic sites, but none were found. Either no more magic sites or a more skilled mage is required to reveal them. You did your best, Henrik. And we got some more ogres. For Ogre Squad. See, now there's like a ton of dudes there. And it's winter. So many spearmen. Ding, 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 ding. I don't know what I'm going to do with Ogre Squad. Go back to doing research. You go back to doing research. So we get 57 per month. So we'll have conjuration level 2 next round. Realms for coastline, Blender for height map, Wonder for terrain painting, Photoshop for cleanup and building, Illustrator for late. What is Realms? Spy. Ooh. AI faction. Let's see what's going on over there. A vengeful crone has cursed the land. I can probably take these guys, right? Let's give it a shot. Oh, that's a lot of guys. But let's go get rid of these fools. Get out of my land. All right, well, I should probably start prepping for my D&D campaign. Yeah, thanks for popping by, folks. This game is this game is wild. I'll probably play this a little more at some point because it is interesting. Kind of want to give it a good chance because it seems cool. I'm still kind of struggling to understand the meta, but I'm sure that just comes with time. But yeah, thanks for coming by to the stream and just hanging out, doing something a little different than working on Legend Keeper. So what am I working on next? So I've got some cool stuff coming up. One, the backlink system is nearly done. I think it actually is done. I just need to test it. So that will make the mentioned in block. The name will change. It'll probably become something like backlinks or references or something. And that will be a lot more accurate with regards to like what's linking to what. And then the alias system is like also, I wrote the back end parts of it, or like the back end within the app, like the local database stuff. And now I need to actually add like the alias block, which I think I'm going to call the AKA block, where you add alternate names for a element. And then those names will show up in search when you're trying to @mention, when you auto link, those will all work as if it's like the main name of the article. And then and then after that, I want to work on the new creation flow, just because the current creation flow is like super not mobile friendly. And not that we have mobile support, but it's like something that I need to really start thinking about. But just more importantly, the UX of a major creation choice being behind a right-click menu is not ideal. And so I have an idea for a flow that will be a little more kind of straightforward and like easier to use, especially for newer people. And then after that, it's timeline time. So yeah, lots of things to work on. Got a busy several weeks ahead of me, but it'll be fun. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching me get my ass kicked in this fantasy realm. And I'll see y'all around.